we are talking about the very important disorder known as the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. This disorder is characteristically seen in children and it is very frequently asked in exam, whether it is the UG exam, whether it is the PG entrance exam, it is the DNB exam. In all the exams, it is very commonly asked, the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Like I previously said, the primary defect is absence. Please note, it is not deficiency, it is the absence, total absence of the enzyme hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase, also known as the HGPRTase. The total absence of the enzyme HGPRTase. The inheritance pattern is X-linked recessive. The inheritance pattern is X-linked recessive. Alright, so we have the X-linked recessive inheritance. And most importantly, what are the clinical signs and symptoms? What are the clinical signs and symptoms? So when you describe the clinical signs and symptoms, we describe them under three headings. First, the biochemical finding. Biochemical finding is very characteristic and very important, which in this case is hyperuricemia. The hyperuricemia is there. We'll come to the cause why the hyperuricemia is occurring in the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. And this hyperuricemia, irrespective of cause, not only in the Lesch-Nyhan, in any case, it can present in three ways depending on severity and the duration. Initially, when the hyperuricemia is of short duration, it will present with precipitation in the synovial fluid causing inflammation of the joints called gout. If it is of intermediate duration and no treatment has been taken, the uric acid crystals will start precipitating in the renal calyces and it will cause the renal stones, that is the nephrolithiasis. And if still untreated, the uric acid crystals will start depositing around the joints, giving rise to structures known as the tophi. Please note, diagrammatic representation. This is the joint and this is the synovial membrane. Alright, this is the synovial membrane. So initially what happens? Initially the uric acid crystals are precipitated within the synovial fluid. They are precipitated within the synovial fluid. So whenever there is movement around the joints, these uric acid crystals will rub against the joints and will cause inflammation. They will cause the inflammation. Normally the synovial fluid is extremely clear, so it will cause inflammation, giving rise to the gout. But over course of time, when there is no treatment and continuously the uric acid crystals are present in large amount, they start seeping outside. They start seeping outside the synovial membrane, and the overlying tissue will protrude like this. The overlying skin will protrude like this. It is a bulbous swelling, like a bulb of the onion. So it is a bulbous swelling which happens to be stony hard because these are crystals. It gives the appearance that the bone has grown out. It gives the appearance that the bone has grown out. So bulbous swelling which is stony hard. This is what is known as the tophi. This is what is known as the tophi. So bulbous swelling which are stony hard are tophi, which will be seen in long-standing case of hyperuricemia. So hyperuricemia, depending on the time frame when the person comes to seek the treatment, whether in the beginning or after some time, or maybe at the age of 11 or 12 years, by that time the tophi will be formed. So this is the biochemical presentation. Then we have the neurological. In neurological findings, what we find is most importantly the mental retardation. the poor performance in school will be there. So mental retardation. Along with the mental retardation, another finding that is seen is the tone disorder. We call it dystonia because in different patients, the different muscle groups are involved, and the type of tone disorder is also different in the different patients. So we use the generic term dystonia. There is no specific pattern. In all different patients can have different pattern of the tone disorder. So a generic term dystonia is used, and another group of presentation is the neuropsychiatric. Another group of presentation is neuropsychiatric. These patients are very aggressive. They love their siblings very much, and whenever they meet their siblings, they will give the expression of love. What is the expression of love in these patients? They give a tight slap. Why? Because their tendency is aggression. So they are very aggressive. All their emotions are expressed aggressively. But the classical and the characteristic finding of the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, for which it is best known, is the self-mutilation tendency. It is the self-mutilation tendency. The most characteristic finding of the Lesch-Nyhan patient is the self-mutilation tendency. Some of the common ways in which the patient can harm themselves include the biting and chewing of lips, fingers and hands. Very commonly, the lips and fingers will show chewing, whereas the frank bite marks are present on the dorsum of the hand. Sometimes on the forearm also they can be there. Rarely they can be present on the feet also. Rarely they can be present on the feet also. Let's see if we have an image which we can see. Okay, just give me a second. Let's see. Let's see if we have an image. Okay, okay. Just give me a second. Okay, let's see. We should have this image somewhere. The Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Here we go. So sorry. Yeah. The Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. The nibbled lips and fingers. You can see the nibbled fingers and the nibbling around the lips is there. Nibbling around the lips is there. And bite marks on the hand. The bite marks on the hand. It appears as if inflicted by an animal or by some small knife or dagger, but they have been inflicted by the child himself. The nibbling is so prominent, the self mutilation is so prominent. If these patients do not receive treatment by the age of 11 or 12 years, sometimes we get the patient from rural areas. By the age of 11 or 12 years, the whole of the dorsum of the hand, it has been chewed off. The whole bone has been eroded due to the continuous chewing. So you'll find that the dorsal bone of the fingers may be missing due to the continuous chewing. There is erosion of the fingers. So the nibbled lips and fingers, that is the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. All right. Sometimes when in the spotting there can be the clinical case, or in your MCQ question there can be the clinical case. So there they will describe the different features. I'll tell you how to discuss the different features in this case. How to discuss the different features. So the gout will present as the frequent episode of the joint pain. Frequent episode of joint pain. The nephrolithiasis will be described as decreased urination or anuria, and because of these stones there can be pain in abdomen also. Sometimes can be described as radiating. If a small part of the stone is traveling through the ureter, then there can be radiating pain also. For mental retardation, I told you the term used will be the poor performance in school. Poor performance in school. For dystonia, the terms can be either abnormal movements, abnormal movements, or history of falls can also be there. History of falls can also be there because of the discordant movement. There can be history of falls also. For very aggressive behavior, there can be frequent quarreling with siblings, frequent quarreling with siblings, or there can be frequent suspensions from the school. When they're fighting with the other children, there will be suspension from the school. And self-mutilation tendency will be characteristically described with some episode, either the biting of the lip can be there, or the bite marks on the hands can be there, chewing of the fingers, they can be separately described. So these are how the clinical presentation for each of these sign symptom may be described for these patients. A very common viva question is, what is the cause for hyperuricemia? What is the cause for hyperuricemia? So without going into the detail, let me tell you, the hyperuricemia is due to increased PRPP synthesis in CNS due to loss of feedback inhibition, due to loss of feedback inhibition. This is what you are going to answer. The increased PRPP synthesis in the CNS due to loss of feedback inhibition. This is the primary cause for the hyperuricemia. This is the primary cause for the hyperuricemia. And the last thing that you have to know here is the condition known as the Kelly-Siegmiller syndrome. The Kelly-Siegmiller syndrome is similar to the Lesch-Nyhan, but here the enzyme HGPRTase is not absent, it is merely decreased. The enzyme HGPRTase is decreased, result hyperuricemia is there without or minimal neurological and neuropsychiatric signs and symptoms, right? So hyperuricemia will be there in the Kelly-Siegmiller also, but the neurological and neuropsychiatric symptoms are either absent or they are minimal in the Kelly-Siegmiller syndrome. They are minimal in the Kelly-Siegmiller syndrome. So these are the points which you have to remember when you're talking about the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. First, we said the Lesch-Nyhan is due to absence of the enzyme. I'll repeat, it is because of absence of the enzyme. Enzyme is not there, it is totally absent. Alright, inheritance pattern is X-linked recessive, and the clinical signs symptoms are discussed in the three headings: the biochemical, neurological, and neuropsychiatric. And in that, we have to talk about the specific findings and how they can be described clinically. For example, for gout, I said the joint pain. For nephrolithiasis, I said decreased urination or anuria along with the pain in abdomen. For mental retardation, there can be poor performance in school. For dystonia, there can be abdominal movements associated with maybe history of falls. It is not necessary that history of fall may be there. Similarly, for very aggressive nature, we can have frequent quarreling with siblings or frequent suspension from the schools. These are some of the terms which can be used in the clinical case. Then self-mutilation tendency is very characteristically defined, which you must remember. Very frequently you can have the image in the spotting. That's why I showed you the image, how the appearance can be there. And in the viva, they can ask you what is the cause for hyperuricemia. So remember this statement that I told you: increased PRPP synthesis in CNS due to loss of the feedback inhibition. And lastly, there is a variant. The Kelly-Siegmiller syndrome is also known as the Lesch-Nyhan variant, where only the hyperuricemia is there, the neurological and neuropsychiatric symptoms are not there. So the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is very important. You should know all the details about the Lesch-Nyhan syndrome.